What's going on? What's going on, everybody? This is Coach D coming at you. What's up, people? All right. As you guys tune in for our session today, go ahead and let me know that you guys can hear me clearly by putting down in the comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm tuning in from the Carolinas. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into today's session. Today we're talking about basically like the role of a sponsor in relationship to your network marketing business. All right. I think there's a lot of, you know, people out there who, as you become sponsors, you're not sure what you're supposed to do, or maybe when you're looking for a sponsor, you're not sure what you're supposed to look for, in a sponsor and all that. And it comes down to when we first start stuff online, that's probably the first time that we've heard the term sponsor to begin with, right? I know before I got online in 2018, before I got online, the only time I've heard the word sponsor, I ain't gonna say the only time, but the main way that I've heard the term sponsor used was like a sponsored ad, or like if somebody was going to like, a NA meeting or something, and because they trying to get off of drugs and they had a sponsor, that they had to check in with. That was the term sponsor that I knew of. So when I got online, hearing the term sponsor, I actually had some misconception of what it was supposed to be about. So therefore I wasn't looking for the right stuff. So let's talk about that. Like, tell me, guys, what do you feel is the role of a sponsor in your network marketing business? Put that down in the comments for me. All right, put that down in the comments. Let me know what you guys feel the role of a sponsor is. All right. Now, when I first started online back in 2018, right, I started with a roadside assistance company. It was called MCA, Motor Club of America. Some of y'all probably used to be in that company too, promote that company, a couple years ago, right, before it kind of changed the comp plan and people like jump ship, right? But so when that was when I was first exposed to things online, and when I was looking to join someone, I was like, well, I want to join somebody who, will be able to help me succeed, right? Will be able to show me, exactly what I need to do in this online world, in this online business. So that way I could have success really fast. That's what I was thinking, right? So I actually, just did I was in a chat, right? And after I had checked out the opportunity, I was like, well, let me just ask somebody, who wants to be my sponsor. After I had checked out the opportunity, I was like, yeah, it'd be good. I was like, well, everybody in the chat seems helpful, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, let me just ask somebody, like, who wants to be my sponsor, right? So the guy who ran the chat, he was like, hey, I'll take you. I was like, all right, cool, right? So from then, it was like I would ask, some questions, here and there as I had them, but it was basically based around like, how can I make some sales, because I didn't know how to do that, and I mean, he did give me some responses and everything, it was pretty general. Consequently, I didn't make any money for like the first 90 days, so when that happens to you, like looking back, like, damn, did I choose the wrong person or what? This is what you're thinking, right? Now I'm gonna tell you guys, even though that was painful, okay, painful to go through, only making $9.24 in my first 90 days online. That was painful. I mean, I went through a period where lights got cut off too, because the money not coming in, how the lights bill getting paid, right? So, but as I went on, I started noticing some things, right? I started noticing that at least in the biz op space, like the make money online space, that there were a lot of, different people who, said they were winning or whatever. We really don't know how much people are making, right? But that said they were winning this, that, and the third, right? And I noticed, that they may have like a large following of people, but like there were very few times that they'll post up and be like, oh, such and such is having great success, right? So I didn't think about it at the time, but I did start noticing it, like, okay, the leader is winning, right? But like they're not putting out any success stories, like nobody else is winning, right? So as I go on and I'm noticing this, I said, well, I wonder, why nobody else is winning. Like you got like 4,000 people that you done made money off of, you done signed up to these programs. Like, where's the disconnect, right? Like what is the sponsor supposed to do, right? Because you can't automatically, I couldn't automatically say, well, it's a sponsor's fault. And I can't automatically say it's the person who signed up for it. It's like, I was trying to really figure it out more so than the blame game. I was trying to figure it out. Like, why was that? People who have like massive success in some of these online programs, some of these biz op programs, they're making like, $2,000 a day, $4,000 a day and all this money. But all the people who they signing up, you never hear about those people making a dime. It's like, damn, something's up with that, right? So I started asking myself, what is the role of a sponsor? Like, what really is the role of a sponsor, right? Now, I'm going to tell you, it got to a point where I was thinking this was the role. I was thinking, like, when I started, I was like, well, this person will help me, cut through the BS. They'll help me, make sales and make sales fast and make money the same way that they're making money. Let's say you join somebody at $25 level, $1,000 level, or whatever in your particular opportunity. So this is what I was thinking, like, surely, if I join them, then boom, they're winning. They're going to show me exactly what to do and I'm going to win. Yay. Right. That's not how that happened. That's not how that happened. Okay. It's not how that happened at all. This is what I've actually found out. In actuality, guys, a sponsor's role is not the same as what you first think. When you're saying that you're looking for someone who is going to show you the ropes, is going to show you how to get leads, is going to show you, everything that they did or whatever the case may be, so that you can continuously be able to get better in your business, that is not describing a sponsor. I didn't know that. What that's describing is a coach, right? Or a mentor, whatever you want to call it, but that's describing a whole different title, right? A sponsor's job is literally, once you get signed up, to point you in a direction so that you can get set up in whatever the business opportunity is, because some of these business opportunities out here don't have proper setup videos. Like, seriously, I've joined some that they didn't have proper setup videos. So it'd be like, I'd be clueless. Like, how the hell I need to set this up, right? Or I have to go to YouTube to figure out how to set something up. So a sponsor's job is to sign you up. And I would say at least, point you in a direction of how to get set up. Right? If you got to set up a back office, point you in the direction of that. If the company has videos, then point you in the direction of those company videos. If the company doesn't have videos, then maybe the sponsor has some videos, or maybe the sponsor knows where those videos are and can at least point you in that direction. Like, hey, go here so you can get set up, so that you can set your back office up. And then I would say one more thing is to point you in the direction for you to get started with getting leads, right? Point you in the direction. Like, hey, okay, maybe if the sponsor has some type of training for you that they already recorded, fine, point you there. If they don't, that's fine too, because I bet that there's tons and tons of people, right, who you guys are sponsors to someone, but you didn't create your own training. So don't be up there thinking of that, oh, that person's a bad sponsor because they didn't create their own training. That's not their job, right? If they did, awesome, they could point you to it. If they didn't, then they may point you to some stuff on YouTube or point you to your back office if it has some training. Notice every time what I'm saying the sponsor's job is to point. Boom, boom, boom. And that's the initial pointing. Initially point you in how to get set up, right? Initially point you in a direction on how you can start getting some leads or learning to get some leads, right? Point, right? Set up. How can you start getting some leads, right? That's two things that a sponsor does, right? That I feel a sponsor should do. I'll put it that way. Anything other than that, guys, is not the sponsor's responsibility. I had to learn this myself. And what happens when we don't understand this is we start blaming the sponsor for not doing this or not doing that. I mean, do you guys know how many times people will reach out to me? Like, honestly, multiple times. Multiple times in a day that people will reach out to me from YouTube, to reach out to me from Facebook, and they're like, D, hey, I joined XYZ, with such and such, but I can't reach him. All right, now here's my thought, right? There's two sides to that coin. One, right? Why would you not try and have a conversation, even if it's Messenger, right, with a person that you're about to invest money into? Like, why would you even do that, right? That's number one, right? That's your fault as the person who signed up. Number two, if you're up here and you're building a team, right? You're building a team. You already know network marketing is building a team. Like, cut it out, man. you know? So you know these people are going to be clueless when they first start. You already know this because you was clueless when you started. Cut it out. You already know, right? So then why would you not have an email address, at least an email address, so a person, or email address, or like Facebook Messenger, you know, if you're not really on Facebook, an email address, right? It's free to get an email address. So a person can email you, say, hey, such and such, you know, I signed up, you know, where to get started. So that way you can then point to the setup directions and point to wherever you want to send them, you know, for them to start looking at the training. It might be just telling them to go to their back office and start looking at training so they can see how to get leads. Simple, right? This is literally how you can solve both of those problems from the sponsor standpoint. Because like I said, I bet a lot of you guys are sponsors, right? And you want the money, right? But you don't want to take the time to at least point to something on how they can get set up. Point to something on how they can start getting leads. Point. You don't have to create none of this stuff yourself, right? You don't have to do it. It's not your job. As a sponsor, that's not your job, right? Point, right? And then from there, from the person who signed up, right, it's on you to pretty much, like, how should I say, you have to, you know, look into people or look into, you know, a team or whatever it is, you know, before you decide to join it. Are you going to be able to reach them by email? If email is going to be a form of communication, whatever it is, you know, try and reach them one time. You know, if you try a few times and you're not able to reach them, what makes you think you're going to be able to reach them to get some setup videos later? Like, that don't even make sense. That don't make sense, right? Okay, but understand that is all a sponsor's job. That's it. Everything else is something that is paid, meaning something else, right? Now, a lot of times, you know, when we get started, I know this how it went for me, right? It's like, okay, all right, you see that your sponsor is not going to be your coach, right? Because that's not what they got paid for. Do you understand, right? You paid for the opportunity. You didn't pay for their time, right? All right, cool. So then you're like, okay, so what do I do? What do I do, right? Well, then what you could do, aside from, you know, when your sponsor pointed at whatever was supposed to be done, then you seek for some actual training. This is business. This is business. Don't get pissed off. Don't be like, my sponsor left me on the road for dead when they pointed to setup directions. If the company doesn't have them, if the company has them, then you need to watch the videos, period, right? And they pointed you to how at least one way to start getting leads. Don't get pissed off if they pointed you to a way that you don't like. It is what it is, right? So then you start to get some training. Do you guys know how much training that I bought, right? Do you guys know how much training that people who actually do make money and not fluffing the numbers, right? And not just, you know, tricking y'all, right? Do y'all know how much training that they have invested into as they were coming up, right? They didn't start off, you know, winning all of a sudden, right? It didn't start that way. The same way it doesn't start that way for you. Like, oh my gosh, I started on Monday. I was brand new, didn't know nothing, right? And, you know, now all of a sudden I'm making 10 grand a month, right? Yeah, you'd like to believe that. I know. You like to believe it. You know, you like to believe it when people say that. I know. Yeah, keep believing that one. See how that works out for you, right? So you still have to seek out the training. Now, the mistake that I made, right, after I realized that I was wrong for thinking that my sponsor was supposed to be my coach, right? After I realized that, you know, then here's a mistake that I made. I tried to rely solely on free information. I was like, you know, all over YouTube, like looking up videos on how to get leads for MCA, because at the time it was MCA, right? You know, I was trying to get leads for that. I was trying to figure out how to do it. I was in all of the Facebook groups that said MCA on them. You know what I mean? You guys are probably in some of those groups too. Y'all cut it out. Don't be trying to hide, right? And I was in all those groups trying to suck up all the free stuff because I didn't want to pay for nothing. I'm like, man, I already paid to join. I don't want to pay, you know, for nothing else, right? And did I learn some stuff? Yes, I did. All right. So let's go ahead and say that first. Now put down the comments. If you guys have learned anything in a free group, right, at all, at least one thing, put down the comments and say free group. Just put down the comments, say free group. If you ever learn anything in a free group, just put down the comments, say free group. Okay. Because yes, I have learned things in free groups, you know, and I might have been in like, you know, 15 different groups, right? Learn a little something here, a little something here, a little something here, some here, so on and so forth, right? This was the problem with that. This was a major problem, and I didn't realize how much of a problem it was until I saw that my bank account was not growing. This is a major problem with that, right? Each free group would teach a little something, and it's like in a different direction. Like one free group may say the answer to my prayers, right? You know, the answer to all of this is to, you know, post on your wall, you know, and just tell people, hey, check out this opportunity, copy and paste. Like they give us copy and paste messages, right? That might be what one group says to do. Another group may say, hey, the way to win at this is to do some paid traffic on solo ads. So then they just give you some links for different solo ad providers and say, hey, this guy got good traffic. Go give him your link so that he can run some traffic to your link, right? That's what one group might say, right? So each group is saying different things, right? And that's not to say that either of these directions don't work. That's not what it's about. It's about that now you're confused. Why are you confused? Because you got 15 different groups telling you 15 different things to do. 15 different directions. You're like, so which direction is right? Like, what do I do? Right? So now you're confused. Okay. And this is what I had to wind up doing because I was confused too, man. Like, for real. You know, so then for a minute, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen for a minute. For a minute, what you're going to do is you're going to revert back to being pissed off at your sponsor. Well, man, maybe I wouldn't have been losing if he or she, you know, would have done a better job on showing me how to get leads. Or maybe I wouldn't have been losing if he or she gave me some training every week. Or maybe I wouldn't be losing if he or she took me by the hand and showed me exactly what to do step by step and what buttons to press and what scripts to give people and what posts to put and what videos to make. Well, maybe I wouldn't be losing, right? You know, so you revert back to that bull crap, right? That don't get you nowhere, right? That just gets you frustrated, right? So what I had to wind up doing is understanding the difference between a sponsor and a coach/mentor, right? Meaning the difference between someone who gave me the link to join, right? They gave me the link to join, and the person who could actually teach me or who would actually teach me to do the thing, right? Teach me to actually get sales and leads, you know, with the business, right? That's two separate things. And see, as you guys are being sponsors, or some of you will be sponsors, some of you guys haven't made any money yet, right? It's cool. You keep watching, right? You keep watching and follow my instructions, then you will. Right? Okay. All right. So as you guys are moving forward and you will become sponsors, I want you to keep that in mind. Why is this important for you? Because if you're thinking that you need to take the weight on your shoulders, the weight of the world on your shoulders, right? If you're thinking that, man, you know, if I'm going to sign people up, I got to know everything about the company from when their kids were born, you know, their social security number, all the way to, you know, the company's current history. I got to know the back office in like the back of my hand. I got to know how to get leads and all this stuff on autopilot. I got to know all this stuff before I can be a good sponsor. If that's what you're thinking, then it's actually going to hold you back. That anxiety is going to be on your shoulders, and then you're going to keep on doubting yourself when it's time for you to talk to people about your opportunity. You're going to be doubting yourself because you're going to be like, well, man, you know, I don't really want to sign nobody up because I'm not a good sponsor. I'm not ready yet, you know, to really go out here and get a lot of people. I'm not ready yet, right? That's what you're going to be thinking, what's going to be on the back of your mind, because you don't understand the role of a sponsor. This is why it's important for you to understand that, because this goes for you. Okay, this goes specifically for you. All right. So once you understand that if you know how to set up your back office because you figured it out, right? Or either your sponsor pointed you somewhere, then guess what you do? Guess what you do? When someone joins you, you can point them to wherever helped you be able to set up your back office. Point them. If it was videos in the back office, point them to that, right? If it was, you know, some video on YouTube, point them that, right? And say, hey, this is how you get set up, right? And then next, whatever helped you, you know, whatever training that you were pointed to get started getting leads, or that you found to get started getting leads, say, hey, here is a training that helped me. Go to that. Or here, this is a, you know, someone else's training that helped me. Go to that, right? Okay. That is your job right there as a sponsor. It is not for you to hold someone's hand It is not for you to think that you have to coach them through everything. It's not even for you to be Encyclopedia Brown, right? People will be like, D, how do I add friends on Facebook? Like, nobody ever asked me that, but let's say they did. And this is the look. I mean, it'll be, obviously I would be looking at my phone as I'm checking the messages, but I'll be looking at like, did they just ask me how to add friends on Facebook? Because it's not a sponsor type question. That is a Google type question, right? So it is not your job to be Encyclopedia Brown, right? You don't have to know everything, right? When you bring people in, have a way for them to contact you. Like I said, email is fine, right? If you want to do email, you want to do phone, whatever you want to do, right? So that they know, boom, this is how you get set up. This is how you get started, get some leads, right? That is the actual role of a sponsor. It is not all this other stuff, right? So don't keep on trying to have that weight on your shoulders and have it holding you back. And also stop holding grudges on other people that you joined because you thought that you were getting a coach, even though I don't know why you thought that. They didn't, unless they told you was getting coaching, then if you didn't actually reach out to them to see if you could, have some type of line of communication, email or whatever, then how you think you're going to message them now? Like, how you think you're going to be able to reach them and they're going to actually respond to you? That's just how that goes, right? So I wanted to bring this to you guys because, like I said, I went through this before. I've been through it. It's hurtful, right? Until you understand how it really goes down. Now, one last piece of advice, okay? When you're out here and, you're choosing a sponsor for whatever it is that you want to join, right? And you're choosing a sponsor. You're like, okay, like some people are like, no, don't sponsor shop or whatever. Bull crap. Bull crap. I show no sponsor shop. Are you kidding me? Yes, I do. It's like, what's in it for me, baby? Okay. So yeah, when you're out there and you're like, hey, I'm looking at this opportunity, it seems like it's good. Now what it is, you want to see who you want to be connected with, right? If you know, right, that you're going to need help with getting set up and help with whatever direction you need to take with getting leads, see if there's a line of communication with that person. Can you email them? Can you Facebook them? Can you text them for that information once you sign up? Whatever it is, whatever the line of communication, that they put out there, test that line of communication. Test it, like send them an email, right? And see if they respond to the email, right? Yes, I'm on people's email list and they, send me stuff to buy all the time, right? I'll respond back, ask them a question about the product, or something that's not on the sales page or something, and I get no response. Like, where on Wheresville do you think that I'm going to buy this thing through your link and you don't even respond to an email? Like, you just trying to sell me stuff and that's pretty much it. So I can go and get that from anybody. Get out of here, right? So these are the things that you want to look at, all right, when you are out there doing your sponsor shopping. Like I said, I definitely sponsor shop. You call it what you want, right? I want to know who I'm going to be doing business with, right? I want to know, is there something in it for me to be doing business with you versus me doing business with that person, or versus me doing business with that person, or versus me going to the company and doing business with them? This is not a pity party. I'm not about to sign up with you because you like, man, I totally need to make money. Yeah, so does everybody else. What's your point? Like, that ain't how that go, right? Because that'll wind up putting you in a bad position, right? When you can't even get a setup video email back from a person because you joined them because you was under some other, crazy notion. All right. So guys, if this is helpful for you guys, right? If you guys are finding value with this, just put down the comments, say value bomb. All right. Just put down the comments, say value bomb. Now, for you guys who are watching this on YouTube, you could definitely check out how to rock out with me on my #1 money making opportunity in the first link in the description. Go ahead and crush that. And yeah, there's always a line of communication to me so that you can get what you need. So you can get how do you get set up and where you can go to start getting leads. All right, because that is a job of a sponsor. Anything else other than that is coaching. All right, so we can take from there. And you already know, this is 𝐘𝐨, baby. If you on YouTube, don't subscribe to my channel because we're going to take this right to the top. All right, and we